Today we will see class 12 Sociology chapter 5 Change and Development in Industrial Society, which was the last film you saw. We are sure you can tell us the name of the hero and heroine, but can you remember the name of the sound and light technicians, the makeup artist, or the dance choreographers? Some people, like the carpenters who make the sets, are not even mentioned in the credits. Yet, without all these people, the film could not be made. Bollywood make a place of dreams of you and me, but for many, it is their place of work. Like any industry, the workers are there, part of the unions. For instance, the dancer, the stunt artist, and the extras are all part of the Junior Artist Association, whose demands include 8-hour shifts, proper wages, and safe working conditions. The product of these industries are advertised and marketed through a film distributors, and the cinema hall owners are through the shops in the form of music cassettes and videos. And the people who work in the industry in this industry or in any other live in the same city, but depending on who they are and how much they earn and how do very different things in that city. Film stars and textile owners live in the places like Juhu, while extras and textile workers may live in the place like Gibran. Some go to five-star hotels and eat Japanese sushis, and some eat vada pav from the local hand pot. The residents of the Bombay are divided by where they live and what they eat and how much their clothes cost. But they are also united by certain common things that a city provides. They watch the same films and cricket matches. They suffer from the same air pollution, and they all have the aspiration for the children to do well. How and where people work and what kind of jobs they have is an important part who they are. In this chapter, we will see how changes in technology or the kind of work that is available has changed social relations in India. On the other hand, social institutions like caste, kinship works, gender, and regions also influence the way that work is organized or the way in which the products are marked. This is the major area of search of sociologists. For instance, why do we find more women in certain jobs like nursing or teaching than in other sectors like engineering? Is this just a coincidence, or is it because the society thinks that women are suited for caring and nurturing, nurturing work as against the jobs which are seen as tough and masculine? Yet nursing is physically much harder work than designing a bridge. If more women move into engineering, how will that affect the profession? Ask yourself why some coffee advertisement in India display 2 cups on the package, whereas in America they show 1 cup. The answer is that for many Indians, drinking of coffee is not individual wake-up activity, but an occasion to socialize with others. Socialized or interested in the questions of produces produces the questions of who produces what and who works where and who sells to whom and how. These are not individual choices but outcomes of the social patterns. In turn, the choices that people make influences how society works. 5.1 The images of industrial society. Many of the great works of the sociology were written at a time when industrialization was new and machinery was assuming great importance. Thinkers like Karl Marx, Max Weber, and Emil Durkheim associated a number of social features with industry, such as urbanization, the loss of face-to-face relationship that were found in rural areas where people worked on their own firms or for a landlord they knew, and their substitution by anonymous professional relationship in modern factories and workplaces. Industrialization involves a detailed division of labor. People often do not see the end result of the work because they are producing only one small part of a product. The work is often repetitive and exhausting. Yet even this is better than having no work at all, that is, being unemployed. Marx called the situation alienation when people do not enjoy work and see it as something they have to do only in order to survive, and even that survival depends on whether the technology has room for many human labor. Industrialization leads to greater equality, at least in some spheres. For example, caste distributions do not matter anymore on trains, buses, or in cyber cabs. On the other hand, old forms of discrimination may persist even in new factory or workspace settings. And even as social inequalities are reducing, economic or income inequality is growing in the world. Often, social inequality and income inequality overlap, for example, in the domination of upper caste men in well-paying professions like medicine, law, or journalism. Women often get paid less than men for similar work. While the early sociologists saw industrialization as both positive and negative, by the mid 20th century, under the influence of modernization theory, industrialization came to be seen as inevitable and positive. The modernization theory argues that societies are at different stages on the road to modernization, but they are all heading in the same direction. Modern society for these theorists is represented by the West. Here they give activity 5.1 according to the convergence thesis put forward by modernization theorist Ruth Clark Kerr and industrialist. India of the 21st century shares more features with China or the United States in the 21st century than it shares with the 19th century India. Do you think this is true? Do culture, language, and tradition disappear with the new technology, or does culture influence the way people adopt to do new products? Write a page of your own reflections on these issues, giving examples. 5.2 Industrialization in India. The specific the specificity of the Indian industrialization. The experience of the industrialization in India is in many ways similar to the Western model and in many ways different. Comparative analysis of different countries suggests that there is no standard model of industrial capitalism. Let us start with the one point of difference relating to what kind of work people are doing in developed developed countries, the majority of people are in the services sector, followed by industry, and less than 10% are in agriculture. ILO figures in India in 1999, in 2000, nearly 60% were employed in the primary sector, agriculture and mining, 17% in the secondary sector, manufacturing, construction and utilities, and 23 in the tertiary sector, trade, transport, financial services, etc. However, if we look at the contribution of these sectors to economic growth, the share of agriculture has declined sharply and the services contribute approximately more than half. This is the very serious situation because it means that the sector where the maximum people are employed is not able to generate much income for them. Government of India Economic Survey 2001 to 2002. In India, in 2006 to 2007, the share of the employment in agriculture was 15.19%, in the mining and quarrying 0.61%, in production 13.33%, in manufacturing it was 6.10%, in trade, the hotel and restaurant it was 13.18%, in transport, storage, communication it was 5.06%, in community, social and personal services it was 8.97%, in financial insurance, real estate, business services it was 2.22%, and electricity and water it was 0.33%. Source Planning Commission's 11th 5-year plan 2007 to 12, volume 1, page 66. Another major difference between developing and developed countries in the number of people in regular salaried employment. In the developed countries, the majority are formally employed. In India, over 50% of the population is self-employed. Only about 4% are in regular salaried employment, while approximately 30% are in a casual labor bracket. Anent 2005 to 239, the adjacent chart shows the changes between 1977 to 78 and 1999 to 2000. Here they give that tables percentage showing distribution of all workers by status of employment, self-employed, regular and casual workers in rural and urban areas in different years. Rural years 1993 to 94, 1999 to 2000, 2004 to 5, 2009 to 10. Rural, self-employed, all wage workers. First we see self-employed 58.0, in the year 99 to 2000 55 to 8, 2004 and 05 60.2, 2009 to 10 54.2. All wages workers 42.0, 44.2, 39.9, 45.9. Regular 6.5, 6.8, 7.1, 7.3. Casual 35.6, 37.4, 32.8, 38.6. Urban self-employed 42.3, 42.2, 45.4, 41.1. All wage workers 57.7, 57.8, 54.5, 58.9. Regular 39.4, 40.0, 39.5, 41.4. Casual 18.3, 17.7, 15.0, 17.5. Source: the second annual report to the people in employment 2011. The economists and others often make a distinction between the organized and the formal and unorganized or informal sector. There is a debate over how to define these sectors. According to one definition, the organized sector consists of all units employing 10 or more people throughout the year. These have to be registered with the government to ensure that their employees get proper salaries or wages, pension and other benefits. In India, over 90% of the work, whether it is in the agriculture, industries or services, is in the unorganized or informal sector. What are the several implications of these small size of organized sector? First, it means that very few people have the experience of employment in large firms where they get to meet the people from other regions and backgrounds. Urban settings do provide some corrective to this. Your neighbors in a city may be from a different place, but by and large work for most Indians is still in small scale workplaces. Here, personal relationship determine many aspects of work. If the employer likes you, you may get a salary raises. If you have a fight with him or her, you may lose your job. This is different from a large organization with them well-defined rules, where recruitment is more transparent and there is some mechanisms for the complaints and redressal if you disagree with your interim immediate superior. Second, very few Indians have access to secure jobs with benefits. Of those who do, two-thirds work for the government. This is why the government jobs are also so popular. The rest are forced to depend on the children in their old age. The government employment in India has played a major role in overcoming boundaries of caste, religion and region. One sociologist has argued that the reason why they have never been communal riots in the place like Bhilai is because the public sector of Bhilai steel plant employs people from all over India who work together. Others may question this. Third, since very few people are the members of unions, features of organized sectors, they do not have the experience of collectively fighting of proper wages and safe working conditions. The government has the laws to monitor the conditions in the unorganized sector, but in practice they are left to the whims and fancies of the employers or contractor. Industrialization in the early years of Indian independence. The first modern industries in India were cotton, jute, coal mines and railways. After independence, the government took over the commanding weights of the economy. This involved defense, transport, communication, power, mining and other projects which only the government had the power to do and which was also necessary for private industries to flourish. In India's mixed economy policy, some sectors were reserved for government while others were open to the private sector. But within that, the government tried to ensure through its licensing policy that the industries were spread over the different regions. Before independence, industries were located mainly in the port cities like Madras, Bombay, Calcutta. But since then, we see that the places like Baroda, Coimbatore, Bangalore and Pune, Faridabad and Rajkot have become important industrial centers. The government also tried to encourage the small-scale sector through the special intensives and assistance. Many times, like paper and woodworks, stationery, glass and ceramics were reversed reserved for the small scale sector. In 1991, very large industries employed only 28% of the total workspace engaged in manufacture, while the small scale and the traditional industries employed 72%. Bracket Roy 2011 2001 to 11. Thank you. Sharing is caring. Comment your thoughts. Subscribe for more knowledge.